Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Angelfish if you're just joining me for the first time, and look who decided to show up. So, context, Midnight Runway Frankie from the Haunt Couture Midnight Runway line. They dropped all the way back in February, and I ordered them the day that they dropped, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and the ship date said it was going to be July 7th, and then just like kind of last Wednesday, I randomly got a notification that they had sent. Like, literally in the middle of critiques on the last day of one of my art courses, which was exciting, you know, made something to look forward to with the first few days of summer break. So yeah, they are finally here, and I am excited. Honestly, I kind of forgot about this doll for a little bit, until I got the shipping notification, because that's how long it's been. It feels like it's been forever. Also, full disclosure, before we get any further into this video, I, as a non-binary person, have headcanoned G1 Frankie as being non-binary for quite some time and have used they-them pronouns for them for a while, for several years now. If it bothers you that I do not refer to G1 Frankie as she, her, analyze why it upsets you that a non-binary person has seen themselves in a character long before they knew that the G3 version of the character was canonically non-binary. Okay, with that little disclaimer, it is time for the reveal. A full disclosure, FedEx did throw Frankie at my door earlier. Well, they threw them at my front yard, and they landed in the bush. So I did check to see if they were okay, and they fortunately seem to be, but yeah. We have no pouch because there is no diary, but the box structure is very similar to Wave 1, only no elaborate filigree on the sides or anything. And the inside is meant to mimic a satin lining. There's no tufted texture print to it, which is unfortunate. And also micro pack, that's wonderful to see. Fang Club Ghoulia has micro pack as well, and if you don't know what that is, basically it is something that is supposed to prevent mold. So if you choose to keep your Frankie in box and you live in a humid area, congratulations. That should keep them safe for as long as you leave them in the box, basically. And then, of course, they come with a sealed little certificate of authenticity, which needs to make its way to where I keep all of my other Haunt Couture little slips of paper in the Monster High lockable journal from G1. But yeah, there it is. This certifies that your Haunt Couture Frankie Stein materialized through the collaborative efforts of designers and artists at Mattel. Frankie was designed by Glenda Chu, who also designed Haunt Couture Claudine Wolf and Haunt Couture Laguna Blue. I believe she also designed G3 Laguna's signature doll, among other things. I love Glenda's designs. They're not for everybody. They seem to be quite contentious in the doll community, but I understand what she's going for. It's very like theater kid, drag queen, drag performance vibes, and I love that about Glenda's designs. It's a shame that early on when Haunt Couture Claudine and Laguna were like more readily available, people like basically harassed Glenda off of Instagram. That was uncalled for, but it happened. We can't change that. Just like, you know, be nice to the designers. If you don't like a design, you don't like a design. There's no need to take it personally. Anyway, let's get Frankie out of the box. The joys of surgically removing a doll from their box, especially with the Haunt Couture line, is you can just like push a lot of the stuff, the little cardboard flaps, back in. So you could, in theory, display your doll back inside. Granted, the holes for the securing them in the box are obviously still there, but, you know, from a distance, they usually aren't quite as noticeable. Also, you know, the dust cover. The dust cover. It's the same as the other Haunt Couture dolls. And before we get into Frankie, I wanted to show you guys. So inside the usual Mattel Creations shipper, they were also in another box. A smaller Mattel Creations shipper that has cue dramatic opening box opening music. So that's new. I guess they expect Haunt Couture Midnight Runway to I don't know if all summer stuff if from now on if that's how Mattel Creation stuff is going to be arriving. Ghoulia did not come in a box like that. So I wonder if they're going to start gearing their drops more towards like the whole highly coveted social media clout aspect of it. Because let's not lie, half of the appeal is the social media stuff. You know, people living vicariously through those who were able to get limited edition items. That's generally just been how collector dolls have worked for the longest time. Especially like with Disney limited edition stuff, like the Ariel, which has the 17-inch Ariel from the Disney store, which sold out, and I can't get her, which makes me sad. Anyway, Frankie doesn't come with a whole lot. For $75, we have a saddle stand, which came in 2 pieces, and you click it into place. And we have our doll, which we will take a look at now. Now, first things first, this hair, this soft, soft hair, it is all saran. I actually have some of this exact shade of green still left over from one of my other reroute projects, because I rerouted a G3 Frankie with a similar blend. So that was actually inspired by this doll, because I love this doll's color palette so much. Like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. I know some people are like, oh, I don't like the green on Frankie. Okay, the green is an acquired taste. Those who get it, get it. Those who don't. It just doesn't appeal to you. And that's perfectly fine. You know, not everything has to be tailor-made to your interests as an individual. Such is the nature of collecting dolls. For instance, the new Barbie Extra Fly line does not appeal to me whatsoever. I see people doing like all sorts of excitement posts about that line, you know, because it's got a Ken doll in it, among other things, and it just doesn't appeal to me. So I will not be buying. But, you know, you get the point. It's all saran, it's all nice, it's got the smaller, like, pinstripe pattern in the back, and then more thick bars towards the front with the 2 electric green highlights, which I love. And then we have their mask. Now, their mask is held on by a rubber band back here. I probably won't be displaying them with their mask just because you know, it's cute. It's a cute accessory, but I'm not really a mask person, so let me just snip that. I know someone's going to be like, no, save the rubber band. Sometimes I don't have the dexterity to save a rubber band, and it's easier if I just snap and snip. It's easier for me. And we will take a look at the mask individually. I'm actually, so the camera doesn't try to focus on Frankie constantly, gonna put them off to the side, get the rubber bands off of their mask, so I can show you a closer look of it as an individual accessory. Here it is. It's this kind of matte plastic. It's kind of transparent, like frosty on the inside. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, it's cute, I guess. I feel like it's the one thing, like, okay, this is a masquerade line, so Frankie was gonna have a mask, and while I don't hate this mask, it's also my least favorite thing about this doll, and that seems to be the general consensus. Like, I'm not alone in that, and that's fine, because the doll themselves is pretty well designed, in my opinion. I live for Frankie from this line. Like, I love them so much. And they are the only Mattel Creations Frankie drop that I've ever actually been able to buy on release day, because both my Voltageous Frankie and my regular Haunt Couture Frankie were gifts from family members, because I missed out on both of those dolls. So I'm, you know, maybe a little bit biased because I was able to get this one with my own money. But yeah, I love their face up. Let me just zoom in on that for you. It is giving G3 in terms of the little eye details. I love that. It very much is. Actually, no, it is exactly like a G3 screening, but on a G1 doll. And if we get a G1 and G3 crossover, I fully expect the G1 Ghoulies to be rocking the G3 style screenings like this, because this is adorable. I love this. Like, they have a little bit of blush, they have their cheek stitch, the eyebrows are detailed. I love the brows. They are, especially compared to signature Haunt Couture, if that's what we're going to call it now, it's so interesting how different these face-ups are. Like, Wave 1 Haunt Couture was plussed up versions of G1 style screenings. Midnight Runway, at least for Frankie, I don't know what Spectra and Cleo are going to be like. I hope I can get them. I fully expect them both to sell out before I manage to do so, though, unfortunately. But with Frankie, at least, it's a G3 style screening on a G1 doll, and I could not be happier. I love this look for them. I love the direction that we're taking artistically with the alumni dolls in terms of like the screening style. And of course they have their 3D eyelashes. Now mine are not placed perfectly, but you know, all things considered, this screening placement is not horrible in my opinion. You know, G1 dolls have certainly had worse screening placements. This is pretty good. I mean, maybe it's a little bit off-center, but I honestly can't really tell unless I stare at it for too long. Now, speaking of things that I like to stare at, their earrings. Hello! I love these. Can they? Yeah, okay, they can come out. They are the same on both sides. You know, they're flipped. It's a little screw, like G3's is at the start, and then a clear green lightning bolt. I love that, love that, love that. Let me just pop that back in. And then as their hair accessory, they have a, can I call this a scrunchie? It is open in the back, and they have a white rubber band there, interesting. But they have a little washer. It's not real metal. I wish it was high shine, but, you know, budget. Obviously, for these dolls, they didn't get as much of one, so they had to really dial it back or something for some of the accessories. Because Frankie does have some high shine aspects to them, which I do appreciate. You know, the electroplated stuff, which we will get to in a second. But, you know, electroplating is an expensive process. We can't have it for everything. The first 3 Haunt Couture dolls have the most electroplating out of the original run, because both Laguna and Cleo don't have a whole lot of electroplating. Laguna has more electroplating on her than Cleo does, apparently. I don't have Cleo. I missed out on her. Probably never going to be able to get Cleo, because she still goes for like thousands of dollars on eBay, so that's just not happening. Just gonna live without Cleo, unfortunately. But speaking of electroplating, Frankie's neck bolts are electroplated just like Wave 1 Haunt Couture. So, you know, they have that little special edition shimmer. The actual staple paint is, I believe, matte, just as it was on the other Haunt Couture doll. And then we have the electroplated necklace, which is a bunch of chains. It's rubber banded in place. And a little lightning bolt pendant in the center. I love this. It's so cute. Just everything about this. This is fun. This is like a Halloween costume meets the Met Gala meets a Rocky Horror Picture Show screening. I'm obsessed. And then we have the belt, which is a very strange piece. It doesn't go all the way around. It's not a jelly piece either. You know, usually Monster High belts are not done like this. This is like weird. I'm gonna flat out say that. Like, it looks cute. Oh, please don't tear the fabric as soon as I put it back on. I wish that they tooled the belt out of a more flexible material, because I honestly hate that it sits like this and that it looks like that. It doesn't go all the way around the bodysuit. I'm sure there was a way to do that. And especially because G3's been doing a lot of gummy materials for the belts, I feel like it would have been a lot better. Especially for the material that the bodysuit is made out of, it would have been a lot safer for it. So, you know, not exactly thrilled that this is just the same material as the mask. Because if you take that on and take that off constantly, that might damage the mesh of the bodysuit. So that's my one note that I've noticed so far with the outfit construction and accessories. Now, next we have this coat, which has, you know, a little bit of a harsh lining on the underside of the pleather. It's like a distressed pleather material. I love it. I love it. It's all jagged like a lightning bolt. It's got a little lapel, which is sewn down, and there's no collar in the back. Like, the collar doesn't go all the way around. I wish it did. I think that would be cool, but the collar piece right here, the lapel, is supposed to be lightning bolt shaped, so, you know, I suppose it would be hard to keep that shape if it was a full go around all the way kind of piece, or maybe I don't know what I'm talking about and it was possible and they just cut it out for budget reasons. And then we have like the sleeve sewn on underneath. Stitching seems pretty good. Flexibility rating, not the best, not bad. Can't rotate arms in this. Unfortunately, not quite as well, but, you know, it looks nice. And then you have this jagged sort of spider shape. It kind of reminds me of like the other mother's dress shape towards the finale of Coraline. I don't know if you get the reference or not. And then we have like the little gap where it's meant to be safety pinned together. They have a silver thread and electroplated Monster High Skelet safety pins holding that together. I like that. That's a cute look. You know, love it. Then we have their wrist accessory, which are these, you know, cuff laboratory restraint straps in this electric green color. There's little plastic staples that were put through them in the box. I hate that they did that. Fortunately, because I used thread scissors to remove them, the holes left are not super visible. And I removed them from the back of the packaging rather than snipping them directly over the ribbon, which does help keep them mostly intact. And they have these electroplated buckles sewn directly to them, so these do not slide around, fortunately. I love this. I love the belt buckle. I love the buckles. I love the buckles. It's so cute. They're like little laboratory restraints. It's like electricity, but also a reference to the fact that Frankie was made in a lab, probably on a slab. I like it. It's cool. It does seem to get caught under their coat, though. And it's just like 3 ribbons, and they're sewn in place to the wrist cuffs, which you can remove by popping off Frankie's arms. Now, I'm going to get them out of this jacket so we can take a closer look at the bodysuit. And here we are. Jacket removed, bodysuit velcros in the back. As I discussed, the belt is a very interesting piece, and the bodysuit, like the solid dark like black, or maybe it's a navy blue lining underneath, is a part of the bodysuit. So it is all one piece in terms of construction. Some people might be bothered by that. I personally don't mind, because there's not really another way to achieve this with 2 separate pieces and have it fit seamlessly because of how Velcro on this scale works. And this is not Integrity Toys. We do not use zipper closures. So, yeah. And also, if this was Integrity Toys, y'all would be complaining about the price even more, let's be honest. I would be too. Honestly, as far as this goes, and we'll talk about their price later, because they are actually still available on Mattel Creations at the time of recording this. But yeah, we will give our thoughts on price later. It is a very nice blue. It's a very bold color. You know, the leggings go all the way down into the boot. You can see there's stitches through it, their legs. Pretty easy to articulate their knees in. You can make them duck walk if you want. Probably, I don't know. And I believe the stitches printed on their bodysuit are actually kind of an iridescent color shift. It's like a black to blue, honestly, if I can. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but it is kind of like a bluish color shift. Like interference sort of color shift, not like from one color to another, but just interference blue is what it is. And then their shoes are a jelly plastic, and the belt should have been made out of this material because it's more flexible. And, you know, this shoe got a lot of crap from the doll community because it's not as amped up as some people would like. But I think for a Monster High shoe, it's pretty cool. I like it. It fits the vibe of this outfit. You know, this outfit I don't think is for a statement shoe. This outfit has two statement pieces on it already, being the straps and the coat. I think those are the main statement pieces. So, you know, to balance it out, I guess we did have to make a little bit more of a simplistic shoe. That is a principle of design. You don't want to over-design Frankie. And you know, Frankie's design does feel balanced because of the shoe. I won't lie. Like, yeah, would a more elaborate shoe be nice? In theory, yes. For restyle purposes, yes. But overall design cohesiveness is what we're focusing on, and Frankie does feel very balanced once they have the mask removed, when it comes to the shoes. Now, it's just got like a simple lightning bolt heel, and then a more realistic spider vein lightning bolt on both sides of the shoe, painted in the same electric green to match the straps and the bolt on their mask. Now, time for final thoughts. Okay, so final thoughts. Haunt Couture Wave 1 Frankie was $75 when they came out. They came with a brush, they came with an electroplated stand, they came with a bag, they came with a diary. Midnight Runway Frankie comes with a stand, everything that they're wearing, a mask that they come wearing, and a certificate of authenticity. They are the same price, and yet I don't see the justification for that with Midnight Runway Frankie. As much as I love them, I think maybe they should have been at least $10 less, knocked to $60, because they are a collector doll for Mattel. I would keep them around that price. Maybe make them $50 like Ghoulia was. I don't know how expensive the embossing on the box is, but that does factor into the price. And as far as the box goes, though it is a nice box, I don't think it warrants keeping it at $75. Especially because we don't have a compartment for the certificate of authenticity. We don't have a diary. Now, that being said, Frankie is a lovely doll. They are still available on Mattel Creations. If you want to buy them, go for it. Although, you don't have to feel bad about skipping this. Honestly, though I love them, $75 for them feels a bit wrong. Especially after Ghoulia. Honestly, any Collector that I get after Ghoulia now is going to feel wrong for the price. Anyway, I would give Frankie, design-wise, a 10 out of 10. But design plus unboxing experience plus price-wise, I would bump them down, like, as a buyer, to an 8 out of 10. Anyway, that is all the time I have for this video. I'm sorry that it's a little bit on the longer side. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Happy summer, by the way.